Keyword cannibalization can be a real problem for SEO, and it can really cause problems when you're trying to rank web pages. So in this video, we're going to look at what keyword cannibalization is, how to find those issues, and 4 ways that you can use to potentially fix them. Okay, so first of all, what is keyword cannibalization? Keyword cannibalization, or page conflict, as some people call it, is basically when 2 or more pages are trying to rank for the same keyword, and search engines just get confused. So rather than ranking both of those pages, what tends to happen is they drag each other down, and you'll often find these pages stuck on page 2 and beyond. So we need to find these issues and we need to fix them. So how do we find these issues? Now, the problem is finding these issues without tools is really hard because it's not always that obvious when you actually have keyword cannibalization issues. And a lot of the tools that people do recommend aren't that great either, because they only tell you when the URL changes. And if you have URLs competing against each other and they don't actually change position, so for example, if you have pages ranking 14th and 15th, but they never swap, they're always there, they are conflicting, but they're not changing. So the URL, the top ranking URL, is never changing. So some tools aren't great from that point of view. If you have the budget for enterprise level tools, then PyData Metrics is a really good option for finding these issues. If you don't have the budget for enterprise level tools, then RankCaddy is the best option. So I'm going to show you with RankCaddy how to find some of these issues. I'll show you a couple of examples, and then we'll dive into 4 ways that you can fix these as well. Okay, so I am in a project here on RankCaddy, and I am going to scroll down to the rankings table, and in the filtering at the top here, you'll notice conflicts only. And I've got the column turned on already. You can see that that's ticked in here, but I think by default that's switched off. But when you click on this toggle, that column will appear there, whether you've got it on by default or not. So you now see that I've got a list of pages that have conflicted and when they last conflicted. So these are cannibalization issues. So I am going to click on one of these, and there's quite a lot happening there. So let's zoom in a bit on those. Let's go a bit deeper than that actually. So you'll see here that we had a page around becoming a Pilates instructor. It was ranking number 1, and then suddenly these other pages started popping in, and rather than staying number 1, you can see it's actually started to really impact the rankings. So this level 3 Pilates teacher page has popped in, and then we've got something around Pilates instructor qualifications, and then there's another one here, Pilates page. So it seems to be some sort of top level page. And once we get past about here, then it's just bouncing around all over the place, down as low as the 4th there. So not bad, because often with cannibalization issues, you tend to find it drags you off of page 1 and you really struggle. But it's not as good as number 1. So there's definitely some issues going on here. But now we know about these, we can start looking into what's going on and how we can fix this. And I'm in another project here just to show you another example. So let's scroll down and turn conflicts on. And here's a more recent example. So we've got elevated dog beds. Let's click on that. And you can see here, it wasn't performing great anyway. It was dipping off a little bit, but it was almost hitting page 2. And then suddenly this other page started jumping in. You can see it's actually really impacted it. It's dropped way down. And now in recent days, it just can't decide. It's one day it's one page, then it's the other, then it's the other, and that might continue to happen. We'll soon see. If we look at the pages that are conflicting, it's fairly obvious from the URLs what's going on. So we've got best elevated dog beds, and we've got elevated dog beds are better. So this looks like some sort of money page. And this is a blog post about why elevated dog beds are better. Now, there may be a few things going on here. It may be that actually this should be about something different. So this maybe should be a post about what are the best types of beds for X dog or X breed or whatever it might be, X type of dog. And as part of that, a subheading could be elevated dog beds, and that could be one of the options. It could talk about elevated dog beds being a good option for that dog, and then that could link off to this post, and we get some good relevant internal links going over to here. What's more likely is actually this is just about elevated dog beds, nothing else, and why they're a good option, and actually that content would be better suited in this content. It may be there's a lot of crossover, and actually a lot of this content, or what's spoken about in that content, is actually in here. But an option might be to blend this content, so move some of this over to here, get rid of this page, and 301 redirect that URL to this one. And you'll probably find that will fix this conflict. It might climb back up. Looking at this, it might be that this page needs improving a bit anyway to get it up to page 1, but it will certainly get around this conflict issue. So with that in mind, let's look at 4 examples of common fixes for keyword cannibalization issues. So the first option is one we've just spoken about, and that is to merge and redirect. So the first thing you need to think about with keyword cannibalization issues is, are the conflicting pages actually necessary? Are they needed? If they're not actually needed, then you may be able to merge the content and 301 redirect the unnecessary page or pages to the correct one. The second option is tweaking the content. So if the conflicting pages are wanted, they are necessary, they shouldn't be optimized for the same term as another page. They should be unique. So you could also try changing up the content, changing the title tag to make sure it's unique and relevant to those pages, changing the headings, and just changing the content in general so that it is specifically about what that page should be about, not conflicting with this other keyword. So make sure it's more focused and focused on what it should be. Option number 3 is improving your internal linking structure. Now, internal links are huge for SEO, and anchor text is hugely important as well. So anchor text being the words that you use in the links to point to other pages. And having the same anchor text or very similar anchor text pointing to different pages can be a really confusing signal to search engines and can contribute towards keyword cannibalization. So make sure your anchors are clear, descriptive, and always pointing to the correct URLs. And option number 4 is audit and improve your backlink profile. So like with internal linking, backlinks are also a factor that can contribute towards keyword cannibalization. And if you have links pointing to your conflicting pages with potentially confusing anchor text, then again, that can also be a factor. So check your backlinks for these pages. Do you have any potential issues? And if you do, it might be that you want to try and reach out and amend those anchors, or you might just have to start trying to build some new links with relevant anchors to those pages. I really hope you found this useful. If you did find this video helpful, please like and subscribe and all that jazz. And if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll get round to answering any questions I can. And I'll see you next time.